As you can see now, we're just importing a couple of messages, and by a couple I mean 101,000! So I just want to point out how much this cost. Yeah, that's my Firefox icon, so I searched through my arsenal and I found this totally legit copy of Windows 10, but I noticed Apple's optical drives are really small nowadays. Alright guys, what you're about to embark on is a 3-part epic journey about this freaking computer right here. I was having some freezing issues, so I talked to Brent from the Computer Clan, and he thought it was maybe the SSD. I bring it to Apple, and what do? They replace pretty much every part except the SSD, and there's still problems. So I bring it back to the frickin' Apple store and say, yo, geniuses, just replace the SSD, okay? Thankfully I have AppleCare. So then they do that, and I don't want to jinx myself, but so far I have had no system lockups. I mean, I've had a couple intermittent freezes, and I hope that's not related, but before, pretty much every day the full computer would lock up, even in Windows, and nothing would happen. It would never recover. So everything seems to be fine now, but oh boy, you're going to see the awesome conundrums I went through during these 3 parts. So make sure you stick around and watch all of them when they come out. Alright, let's roll that film. We're going to go to the Apple Store now. Ready? So I'm on my way to the Apple Store now. Traffic doesn't look too bad today. Motherfuck! This red light is longer than a bread box. Okay, so we're kind of going there, but I don't have actual footage of me inside the Apple Store, so guess what? To substitute, I'm going to show some old footage from a video I made when I was in Chicago. Enjoy. Alright, we're back from the store now, and you can tell this just came from the store because it's wrapped in that genuine Apple fluff paper, 12 bucks a piece, and genuine Apple blue tape, 13 bucks a piece. So let's just take this off here, and hopefully this is the last time that I have to see this thing in the paper. So here we go, the late 2013 Retina MacBook Pro 15-inch with just about every single internal component now replaced with either a new or refurbished Apple part. Alright, so if my calculations are correct, the SSD should be wiped. I think it has 10.11.5 on it, but with nothing else. So I'm going to have to migrate my data, and actually it looks like we might be coming up to that screen soon. I have everything on Time Machine. I have to do Windows separately. Benvingut, benvindos, squiggle, bienvenido with Tommy, welcome, vitamin vas, more squiggly lines, ciao, ciao mung, ciao mung, ciao mung. Oh, I don't even know what that language is. Oh my gosh. So we're just gonna choose our DeLorean feature here. Time Machine, connect AC power. Well, I'll do that later. Alright, so the Time Machine drive has been found. Continue. I'm going to restore from Love Machine, last backed up May 30th. This is restoring the OS X volume. Now, this is USB 3, so it should be rather fast. Hopefully. Okay, so on here with the Migration Assistant, we have applications, the Apple test account they were using to help fix the computer, my account, my demo account, Mike Rosoft, ho ho ho, and other files and folders and computers and network settings. So I would like to restore all of this except this account, and it looks like, yeah, we're probably going to push like 400 gigs or so. Initializing cloning process. We are breaching new grounds with science. Dolly the sheep, you can suck my duck. I am, though, having troubles understanding this diagram. The arrow right there, I'm not sure where it's going. It's a little too complicated. Now, since when did the Migration Assistant tell you the speed stuff was transferring at? Is that a new feature? I don't know, that's pretty cool. It's going pretty smooth. We got about 35 minutes left, so that's enough time for me to stuff my face, and I will be right back. I'm just going to leave the camera on and let you watch it for 35 minutes straight. Oh, yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's sign in here. It looks like a lot of this stuff transferred over. I mean, account-wise, pictures, names. Let me just type in my password. You spin me right around, baby, right around. Setting up your Mac. So I just want to point this out. Even after a complete motherboard transplant and an SSD transplant, restoring from Time Machine even remembered what apps I had open last. And they just automatically opened up when I logged in. Now, how freaking cool is that? As you can see now, we're just importing a couple of messages, and by a couple, I mean 101,694. I also got to say, a little bit of a funny story here. When I got back home, I noticed there was an email from Apple about my repairs. It's a little confirmation email. And the funny thing is, the Apple Mail junk folder, this was on my Mac Mini, the Apple Mail junk folder labeled an official Apple email as junk. I just thought that was great. That's the highlight of my day. I have a pretty low bar for my days. Oh, where's my whiskey? So I just want to point out how much this cost. This is the cost without tax of parts and labor just for the SSD replacement. Now keep in mind, I had a heatsink replacement and a logic board replacement before this happened. So the cool thing is I have the warranty. So I paid that extra like $250 ahead of time, and now I didn't have to pay the over $1,000 now. So if you gain any lesson from my insanity here, yeah, do get Apple Care, and with other products that aren't Apple, do get some kind of warranty. Ensure your investments. So aside from having to re-enter a couple passwords, which is pretty expected, it looks like everything transferred except for my Launchpad configuration. I'm not quite sure why that didn't transfer over. I don't know, maybe someone could shed some light on that, so I have to rebuild that. But so far it's pretty smooth. The big thing though next is re-imaging the Windows partition, so fun times ahead, get some popcorn or something, because oh, you're in for a show. Okay, I'll be honest, I thought of all the things I would have to re-authenticate, Creative Cloud would be one of them. The Adobe software actually automatically just continued from where it left off. I mean, I thought out of everything the Adobe software would choke. This just shows that anything is possible. Oh, whew, thank you, Adobe. But I got everything back to pretty much how I want it. These are my most frequently used apps, so that's good. I'm all happy now. Wait, what are you looking at? What, you really looking at that? Yeah, I know what you're looking at. Yeah, that's my Firefox icon. So, you got a problem with that, Buster? Huh? Now we can do the fun part. Oh yes, we got to partition this thing to get Windows on here. And I have a Windows backup system. Like I have it imaged or whatever, but I don't necessarily have restore media. So that might be the only tricky part. The rest of this, I think, is pretty automatic. Wow, this is definitely a lot easier than it was back in the, I think Tiger days when this was more of a beta thing. Yeah, this has gotten a lot more automatic. Alright guys, so I searched through my arsenal and I found this totally legit copy of Windows 10. It is a legit copy. I own the product, I just made a copy of it onto this disk for restoration purposes. But I noticed Apple's optical drives are really small nowadays, and this disk doesn't fit anymore. So I'm going to have to find a way to shrink it, or be from this millennium and actually put it on a flash drive or something. So we'll get back to you in a moment. Alright, so the boot camp assistant needs me to make a partition for the drivers for Windows. That's great. So I don't have a flash drive lying around, so I took one of my bigger hard disks and I resized it and just put a small little fat volume on there. It's been stuck on resizing for about 7 minutes now, and that concerns the shit out of me, because I don't want to abort it while it's in the middle of the operation. I'm pro hard disk. I don't want to abort it. It has a right to partition itself. Although I'm not noticing much activity inside of the disk utility application, according to the activity monitor, the system is actually performing quite a bit of disk operation related tasks. So look at this graph go, guys. This is the blood of the computer. Seriously. So the blue blood is returning to the CPU and needs oxygen. Right now, the blue blood going to the CPU is hemoglobin. So when it gets oxygenated, it comes out as red blood. That's how the computer works. It's pretty simple. Oh, guys, I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. I just realized what I was doing. I'm starting up a virtual machine. I must have had this going in the background or something on the hard disk that I am partitioning. Oh my gosh, I feel sick. Hey, the operation is complete. What's a BISPIF? Does anyone know what a BISPIF is? So what this blueberry pie chart is telling me is that I accidentally made 2 additional partitions as opposed to just the one. That is maybe why the resizing took so long. That was a total screw up. Okay, All right, let's maybe remove this because we don't. Oh, the minus button is grayed out. Okay, you can't see that, but if I do this, then you can. Hang on. All right, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Fuck. So I was able to borrow a flash drive from someone. Hopefully this works. I have one just like this, but it must have shorted out because it's not working. So I'm going to try to put the frickin' drivers on this sucker because for some reason the boot camp assistant is not detecting the new fat volume I just made, and now I can't seem to find a way to remove it from the partition table. So panties all around. All right, I think I found out what's going on. I could be wrong still. I'm wrong a lot. So here's the current situation. There is the automatic driver downloader inside the Boot Camp Assistant, but it won't actually let me choose the drive I want to put the drivers onto. So I made a new flash drive formatted here under the name BC for Boot Camp, and it still wouldn't work. So what I think I need to do is reset it as FAT like I did before, and I'm just going to call it BC for Boot Camp again, but I accidentally had it set as GUID partition map. Since I'm working with Windows stuff, I probably need to set it to MBR. So let's do that. And just for good measure, I'm going to quit the assistant. And let's show details so we don't get bored here. Oh, it's already done. All right, there you go. It puked all that stuff out. It's good to go. So let's go back to the Launchpad and open up the Boot Camp Assistant. And I'm going to hit continue. I'm not going to create a disk for Windows because I got my totes legit copy right here. So download support and install. So continue, and it still doesn't work. What the? Come on. The flash drive is right here, and it just will not let me do it. Okay, so I believe I found out what was causing that problem. That red flash drive, I think, was too small, and that's why it kept saying no USB disk. Well, Apple, you could have at least said, please insert a larger disk. But no, they wanted to be obscure. Why? To piss me off, of course. So I inserted an 8 gig stick, transferred the data off, which took like 12 years. So I just reformatted it, and now I use the master boot record, so now it finally shows up. For crying out loud, this part took longer than like everything else in this migration process. I can't believe it. Alright, so the progress bar has that much more to go. Oh, never mind, it jumped to 0 minutes and 0 seconds remaining. It is now saving the support software. Alright, well, it is 1:15 midnight. I gotta work tomorrow, so Krazy Ken is going to bed, and when he wakes up tomorrow, he's gonna finish this shit. But for now, oh my gosh, I need a break. So, I'll update you soon. Would you like to check out our movie riffing comedy series? If so, you can watch that right here. Or perhaps you'd like to watch our Anime Milwaukee cosplay music video? If so, then click here. Assign F. Okay. Yo! I do see please wait. Wow, I just learned something new. Shift, restart. Holy shit, this is cool! Alright, I am back, guys. How have you been? I hope you enjoyed the break. I sure didn't. So, we're going to insert the totally legit Windows 10 installation media. Alright, so, I have the Boot Camp drivers right here in my pocket. I mean, on the flash drive. So we have our nice little folders and all that. That's all good. I have installation media. Hopefully it works. And I'm planning to just restore my previous system because I used the backup and restore utility, and I have a backup of my Windows system on one of my hard drives. I have to determine which one because I don't remember. So we already have this, so hopefully we can just install Windows 7 or later, and it should just be able to read the disk, and everyone should be happy, and we don't have to... Yes! Okay, it's actually letting me partition the disk now, so... Windows support software not detected. Boot Camp Assistant did not detect the presence of Windows support software. Wait, that's bullshit! It's plugged in! It's right... I hate this automatic stuff. Why can't, like, a power user just do his thing? So, you know what? I think I'm just going to say, screw it. We're going into manual mode. Brent, shift the gears into manual, please. You sound like a freaking race car. You mother... Alright, so we got disk utility here. What I'm going to do is just go into manual mode. The boot camp assistant's nice and all, but for some reason it does not want to play nicely with me. So I'm just going to manually add in just an 80 gigabyte partition, and I'm just going to do MS-DOS FAT for now. I'm just going to reformat it in the Windows system anyway. So we'll just call it Win, and we'll do that and set it to 80 gigs, make sure that's all good, and apply. So now we'll just resize the partition table. Excuse the background noise, there's a swamp cooler running, but anyway, here's what's going on. I do not like the new disk utility in El Capitan, guys, because if you look at the footage here, you'll see that I typed in 80, but right when I hit apply, it changed. Why would it do that on me? Because the new disk utility is quite stupid, and it's just so tedious. So now it's sucking up my entire hard drive, making this giant additional partition that I didn't even want. Good job, Apple. Oh yeah, you know how to software. Good, good. I love it. Alright, well I finally got disk utility to cooperate with me. Now the storage bar kind of looks like one of those patriotic ice pops. That's great. Alright, so it looks like the boot picker actually detected the Windows CD, so let's boot into there and keep our fingers crossed. Fucking A. Oh, I was still rolling when that happened. Jeez, I had the tripod head too loose. Yeah, that's on camera now. Woo! There we have our Windows logo. That's a good sign. Alright, so we're going to choose English. Oh, well, I'm getting a wire call. Alright, so we got English and product key. I have my Windows 8 one, which should work. It's in my email, so I'll skip that for now. And I do have Windows 10 Pro. That's what I'm registered for, so let's do next. I'm going to read the entire license agreement right now. Call me Ishmael. Depending on how you obtain the Windows software, I've read enough. So we'll hit check, next. And we have this Windows partition, which we will format for NTFS. I set it for 80, but it looks like it's actually reading it as 73.8. That should be enough space. So now this is the fun part. How do I actually restore the data to this drive here? Is there some utility I'm supposed to use? Brent, help me out here.
What are we doing?
How do I actually restore my Windows system? So Brent suggested that we just install Windows and then use the recovery mode from the advanced boot options. That makes sense because I think I remember seeing that in there earlier. So we have partition 4. I remember making an 80 gig partition. This is 73.8, so that must be it. We just formatted it. And now we'll hit next, and copying Windows files. Here we go. This is coming from a CD or DVD, which is a bit slow, but it's writing to an SSD, so the expansion should be rather fast. Oh, it looks like I bent my computer screen. It's quite a bit damaged. Oh no, that's just how wide my lens is. You're jealous of my wide lens. Anyway, I'm going to do this product key thing later, because I don't actually have the key on standby here. So I'm just going to hit Express Settings because we're probably going to wipe this stuff out anyway as soon as I get the external hard drive up, and then we should be able to restore. Wow, it's really late. Apparently it's 2:24 in the morning. Well, that's not good. Alright, so we're just going to restart now, and advanced startup options. Is that like F8 or some chiz? Ah, hold down Shift. Very smart. I do see please wait. Wow, I just learned something new. Shift, restart. Holy shit, this is cool! Alright, so I'm going to go to troubleshoot, I'm guessing. And I'm going to go to advanced options. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so I'm going to go into there. I got the black screen of death. And let's see where that goes. We got system image recovery. Preparing system image recovery. With that fun little spinny thing. Windows cannot find a system image on this computer. Attach a backup hard disk or insert the final DVD from a backup set and click retry. Alternatively, close this dialog for more options. I'm going to close this and I'm just going to do select here. And I'm going to go to advanced and search an image on the, no, not on the network. What the hell? Install a driver. What? Alright, so I don't know if this will fix the problem, but I think I know what might be going on here. The backup image was actually transferred to an HFS volume for storage. There's nothing to read HFS partitions on this system right now. Oopsie! So, I'm gonna have to make... I don't know. I don't even know if we can read from exFAT inside that utility there. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to figure something out now. Alright, so what I'm attempting to do now is take the Windows image backup folder and move it to an exFAT drive so it's actually readable. Now, I'm not sure if the advanced boot options is going to be able to pick that up, but I'm hoping so. Because really, I don't see why it wouldn't work. I mean, it has a full backup of my computer here. It has my PC name right there. It has catalog, logs, media ID, whatever the frick that is. It has this giant backup folder that's like 60 gigs in size, and then it has a VHDX file, which I think is virtual hard disk. So, yep, unfortunately, that was my thought. I had a feeling that I would need to use an NTFS volume to mount the virtual hard disk, so that's probably why none of the utilities are picking it up. Okay, so I took that accidentally built HFS volume, you know, the really big one I didn't mean to make. I took that, made it exFAT, and now just turned it into an NTFS drive using Windows here. So now that should be good to go. We have plenty of space. So I should be able to take the exFAT drive here. Here's the Windows image backup, right? So I should be able to just copy this somehow. How do you... or cut? I don't think I can right-click on this thing yet. So let's... oh, boy. Right, here we go. Home. So we're going to do a cut. Go back to the PC. Go to the NTFS drive D. And paste that sucker in there. So now that should move over to the new partition. And we get to watch the fun little graph. And yeah, we're getting about 45 megabytes per second. Gosh, you know, it would be nice if I could use Thunderbolt 3, right? Oh, wait, no Macs have Thunderbolt 3 yet. You know, they pushed Thunderbolt, but no Macs have version 3. Hey, at least Apple has their priorities straight. They made a pink laptop. That's more important than high-speed data. So anyway, I did a video on this a while ago, One More Line. It's an addicting game that's really fun to play while I wait for files to transfer. So I'm going to be doing that. I don't know what you'll be doing, but hopefully you can keep both hands on the keyboard. Alright, so I have the stuff on an NTFS volume right now, and it says the disk image isn't... Well, this is the VHDX file, by the way, that was made from the backup and restore application. It says the disk image isn't initialized, contains partitions that aren't recognizable, or contains volumes that haven't been assigned drive letters. Please use the disk management snap-in to make sure that the disk, partitions, and volumes are in a usable state. And this could be why the backup and restore utility is finding zilch. So Brent is my lifeline here, and he's helping me out. So right now we're inside the disk management snap-in, and, well, he's
Just
maybe...
call it disk management.
Well, it's a snap-in!
Yeah, but no one really says snap-in.
Well, this is...
Call it disk management.
This is way different than anything I've ever done on a computer. I mean, this is... I don't know. I just learned what a snap-in is today.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what do I do here?
The disk is mounted, but it
Oh.
was not mounted with a drive letter.
All right, well,
Right-click.
I remember I can't
Right-click on that volume.
I can't right-click right now.
You're gonna have to.
Oh, okay, fine. Hang on. Let me see if I can attach a Bluetooth mouse here, because I actually don't have any, like, right-click support right now. I'm right-clicking. All right, so I got some doohickeys here.
Change drive letter and path.
All right. Add?
Add.
All right.
And just assign it the drive letter F.
Assign F. Okay. Yo! Dude!
Now that volume has a drive letter.
Fuck yeah, bitch! So now what?
Try again.
Okay, well, let's... Okay, so when I refresh, it still doesn't find... So just for shits and giggles, we're going to try that system recovery thing, and just see if it finds the NTFS volume with the now working disk image. Hopes are a little low, but we're going to try it anyway. If this doesn't work, I'm just thinking I'll just transfer my files over manually, reinstall the few apps that I do use. I mainly only use Windows for my live broadcasts anyway, so it shouldn't be terrible. So, we'll go to Troubleshoot, Advanced, System Image Recovery. Use the latest available system image, May 14th, on the D drive. Hey, this might actually work. Next, To restore this computer, Windows needs to format the drive that the Windows recovery environment is currently running on. To continue with the restore, shut down this computer and boot it from a Windows installation disk or a system repair disk and then hit restore again. So, I have a Windows 10 disk in here, so is there a way to get to these tools like on the DVD?
Yes. Just boot from the Windows 10 disk.
Alright, let's do that. So, let me plug the super drive back in after this shuts down. That gave me hope. That gave me some hope, Brent. I finally have some hope on this show.
It's amazing just how well I Windows.
Brent Windows as well. Being a Mac user, I also like working with Windows. I mean, Windows, not Windows. Image recovery. Select target operating system. I'm guessing it's our only option. I'd like to phone a friend,
Yeah.
Regis. Alright, it shows up. That was May 14th. I remember doing that because I went to see Keanu, that new Key and Peele movie, and I let it run while I was at the theater.
How was that?
I personally thought it was great. Like, I don't watch a lot of comedies because I like movies with, like, deeper themes and motifs and, like, life lessons.
Yeah,
but-
the exact opposite of that.
But I make exceptions for comedy, and it was actually really good, and I think I'd like to watch it again sometime. And the cat was so cute!
Yeah,
He's
I
so
saw
cute!
the ads for that, and I was like, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah. EFI system partition, comma, C colon.
Yep, that means it's going to restore your system partition and the C drive.
All disks to be restored will be formatted. This is in italics, by the way, so it's really important. Actually, everything's in italics. All disks to be restored will be formatted and replaced with the layout and data in the system image. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, and if it screws up the Mac stuff, I have a Time Machine backup of it. Anyway, it failed.
What the fuck? Wait,
A different firmware. That computer was using EFI, and this computer is using BIOS. What? Alright, so right now I wiped out the NTFS partition, and I have the Windows installation media mounted, I have the Boot Camp drivers on the flash drive mounted, and I'm currently using the Boot Camp Assistant to automatically partition the disk, and this is what I did last time, and it worked. I didn't do anything manually outside of this thing, it just did it. Oh, it looks like it's actually rebooting right now. Brent, get a load of this. I mean, like, I can't read anything, it's so tiny! Alright, hang on. Let me just hyper zoom this thing in a little bit. There we go. It's still...
I'm expecting a 96 DPI display, and I'm not changing my mind on that.
It wasn't doing that before, though. Only with, like, the boot camp thing. So it's like it automatically already changed something.
Hey!
That's interesting to me. Alright, so let's... Oh my... But the mouse cursor... hang on. The mouse cursor is still, like, really freaking big. I don't know if you can see that through wire.
I
But...
can't. Like, move it into the blue area?
Yeah. The mouse cursor is, like, ginormous. Alright, so I'm gonna hit next. Could be. And, of course, the license agreement font is, like, super huge. I tell ya, if it's not one thing, it's another. I legitimately don't know what's going on. The partition table was restored. I followed instructions. That's the thing that drives me crazy when you follow instructions, like, exactly, and stuff still doesn't work. Alright, so get this. Now, all of a sudden, I can't install because it says it's GPT. But here's the thing. Yeah, it's GPT because it's a Mac, and I'm using an HFS volume, and I'm sharing it with a Windows volume, NTFS. This one DVD that is in here is giving a Windows option and an EFI boot option. The one error message, I don't even remember if we showed it in the video or not, said that the computer was like last using EFI and it was currently configured with BIOS and the installation could not continue. But I swear nothing worked anyway when the boot camp thing automatically went through and it used this installer. But that aside, we're just going to try these two options manually from the boot picker. So, smack and return. So here we have our options. Windows 10 Pro, description, Windows 10 Pro, just in case you missed that the first time. Does this look like it's familiar? I'm getting deja vu. Holy shish. I'm getting deja vu squared. And shit, there it is. Windows could not update the computer's boot configuration. Installation cannot proceed. Okay, I am officially out of things to say. Every time I use the Boot Camp Assistant to do the partitioning, this happens. And I just don't know what else to do. I mean, maybe I just need a different Windows installation media. Maybe I can do that for the future. That could be the big problem. Maybe this installation media is just not compatible with whatever I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to go back to what we were doing before. Manually partition the table using disk utility, install from there, and then what I'm going to do, I can maybe check the imaging thing one more time to see if it'll work. I doubt it will. Alright, we are repartitioning the table manually now in disk utility. And after this, we will boot into a Windows installation. Which, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I ever tried doing a manual partitioning with disk utility and then booting off of that EFI disk. I never combined those two approaches. So I might try that and then do the other installation option. So, yeah, well,
It's something you had the most luck doing manual partitioning, but you weren't, because that's where our problem happened in the first place. It gave you that EFI BIOS thing whenever we did manual partitioning, but we never actually booted from the EFI off the disk.
that's a good point. I think that might be what I missed. So I'm going to try that and see if that actually hopefully fixes this shit. All right, this time we got a totally different error. Windows cannot be installed to the disk. The selected disk has a master boot record partition table on EFI systems. Windows needs GPT. All right, we're back in the boot picker. We have the Windows drive or partition. Let's just see what the hell happens when we boot off of it. It's probably going to explode. Boom! Oh, just kidding. We're going. It's currently frozen here. Let's see what happens. Well, speaking of things and lifespan, yeah, it's definitely not booting. It just actually turned off the entire computer.
Oh shit.
So it's gone. The software is just not going through. So, well, I guess we're going to be calling it for now. You'll have to come and join us next time and see what the hell we can do to actually get this thing working.
Actually making a part 3 to this?
You bet. This is the trilogy. Oh, we're gonna die.
Might as well make it like Portal. You know, each chapter has its own title. We might as well just make this in like chapters.
Oh gosh. All right. Well. Yep. There goes the computer again. We are in big trouble, but you're not. You get to sit back and relax. So we'll see you in the not too distant future. Would you like to check out our movie riffing comedy series? If so, you can watch that right here. Or perhaps you'd like to watch our Anime Milwaukee cosplay music video? If so, then click here. Boy, if I had a nickel for every time I saw this screen, I could buy $1. Hey guys, Krazy Ken here, and I just want to address you before the episode starts quickly here. Things get kind of twisty near the end. There were some unexpected things, and I cannot wait for you to see what happens. So please join me on the journey here. But first, I just want to mention something. You probably don't want to end up as dumb as me. How can you fix that? With education. I bet you're watching this video right now on a website or mobile app. Well, guess what? A lot of industries rely on those technologies, so why not consider a career in one of them, or both? Full Sail University offers undergraduate degree programs in software development, website development, and mobile apps. You will receive a laptop, and you will be using the same tools that professionals use. To learn more about these great programs, please visit this link that is available in the description. And we're back. All right. I'm just by myself right now. I did some thinking, and I was wondering, this installation should not be that tricky. I've used Boot Camp before. I've installed Windows before, and it's normally not this hard. I just think a lot of variables and lots of upgrades of the OS just over time, plus the backup files, just everything together just cause one huge cluster fornicate. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually downloading a copy of Windows 10
from Microsoft right now. In fact, it might be the newer version. I haven't even been able to update to the fall version that came out in fall because there was an activation problem. So maybe this version is that. I don't have the numbers memorized, but I'm downloading that and I'm going to burn it to this DVD here because I don't really have a flash drive. So we'll do that. I can't get anything to work, and I've tried everything, and all hope is lost. So I'm gonna let it download. It should be done in about 8 minutes, and we'll go from there. So I'm just gonna burn, and hopefully it just works. Let's see what options we got here. Radioactive, radioactive. It's very radioactive. We got to be careful here. Writing track. Oh, my hot new mixtape. It's making some tunes. Oh, I got to entertain myself while this is running, so just bear with my jokes, please. I've been through enough. Boy, if I had a nickel for every time I saw this screen, I could buy $1. Alright, so what we're going to try to do now is use the new image that I just burned to the DVD. I already have the boot camp drivers on a flash drive, so we'll turn that off. We're just going to run the typical installation, see what it can do automatically. If not, we'll try some more manual procedures. Now we're going to partition the disk again, and hopefully I'm not frying out this new SSD. I mean, I just got this new SSD card in here, and it's been repartitioned and reformatted like 90 times already. Hopefully it just works, although nothing during this entire project has worked at all. Now, I have to say, I have installed Windows probably 6-7 dozen times throughout my life. I've lost track. And a lot of those times, I was installing Windows on a Macintosh. And it has never been this tedious. So I don't want this Crazy Ken episode to discourage you from putting Windows on your Mac. But it's usually not this hard. I really don't know what is happening to cause so many constant problems with this. Now I just realized I interrupted the automatic procedure, but I'm guessing it's going to go off of the EFI boot. This is an EFI computer, so I would like to use an EFI system. You know, I gotta say, I was watching Zootopia actually during the downtime between updates here, and I happened to pause it on a really funny shot right there. That face, oh my gosh. You know what, now this video is gonna get taken down by Disney, isn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. Okay, so some of these setup screens are already looking a little bit different, which is kind of a good sign. Again, I do have that newer version that I burned. So this time around, I'm actually going to enter in the product key right from the get-go. And I hear that you should be able to use your Windows 8 product key. Alright, well, no errors, so that's a good sign. Windows 10 Pro, x64, yep, that looks good. Let's hit next. And I'm guessing we got to read through some terms and conditions, and we're going to be turned into a human centipede or something. I just love how this works on the Retina display. I still love it. Small interface, big words. Alright, I read everything. It's all good. So now, what do you mean you couldn't? What, this partition is NTFS. I just formatted it. It's still not working. What? Let's try again. Alright, I just reformatted it. Drive 1, partition 4, 74.6 gigabytes, NTFS, next. Windows couldn't, my gosh, I've never seen that error before. Well, I went out and did some incredibly deep research, and by deep research I mean 4 seconds of searching on Google. And I want to thank About.com. Okay, yes, About.com did confirm my theory that if you have File Vault turned on, partitioning is going to screw shit up. That's why the Windows setup couldn't find the drive, because I think when you enable File Vault, it makes a logical volume, I think, and Windows won't understand that because this is a Mac technology, so I don't blame it. Okay, so the drive is now decrypting. It's actually advanced 5 minutes in the estimated time remaining in about 3 seconds, and now it went up 2 minutes, and now it went down 2 minutes, and do you want to change any more? Oh, now it went up 4 minutes. Oh, now it went up 5 minutes. Oh my. Now it went down a minute. I don't think the computer can keep up with itself. I just think it's so fast, it doesn't know how to compute how fast it can compute. That is meta. That is like meta. It's meta squared. What?
it just double. Oh, it's gone. It's all gone. It's gone. Bye-bye. Woo-hoo. See ya. You know, guys, the more I look at this situation, I could have just been content with having the Windows installation working earlier without having to figure out how to automatically restore the backup. Because the amount of time it would have taken me to just restore my files manually would have taken a lot less time than this major detour on this road we call life. And it is a really freaking bad detour, and it has pissed me off. But hey, it advanced from 1 hour now to 39 minutes. Now it's going fast again. 36. Hey, there's hope. There's hope. You yell and complain about something, and it starts to go your way. Isn't that lovely? Oh gosh. Alright, so this brand new SSD that just got thrown in here has already been repartitioned a million times. Software, entire operating systems, in fact, have been installed and reinstalled a million times. And now the drive has been fully encrypted and now fully decrypted and now repartitioned again. This still refuses to work. I seriously have no idea what I'm doing wrong. I'm following the rather simple procedure step by step, and there's no problem. So, what I'm going to try this time is I'm going to try the other Windows installer, which does not use EFI, I don't think. They see me loading my OS, and nothing wants to work today. And I can't think of a rhyme, but this is a waste of time. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to do that. Wow, just look at that wide-angle lens there. Makes my screen look all curvy. Curvy screens, those are the trends, man, except it's curving the other way, and that wouldn't be very practical. In fact, I don't think the other direction of curving is very practical either. Next to I love you and made in China, those are probably the 3 most commonly words I've ever seen. Oh heck, I've never seen I love you, what am I talking about? I accept the license terms. You know, maybe this isn't working because I haven't fully read all the terms now. That would be quite sad. Alright, so let's see here. Errors. The selected disk is part of the GPT style. Well, of course it is. Yeah, so that's a different error than what we're getting on the other system, because I believe the way Boot Camp works is it tries to like emulate a master boot record and all this EFI, or I have no idea about all these things. But Boot Camp usually does a pretty good job emulating it to kind of, in a way, I guess, trick Windows to run on this computer, but it's not really tricking it right now. Windows is being pretty damn untrickable at the moment, and it won't install, no matter what I do with the Boot Camp Assistant. I am totally lost. Now, there is some hope. When I just partition the disk manually with disk utility, I did get a little bit further last time. In fact, I got to a full installation of Windows. I just didn't want to settle with that because I wanted to get the restore process working, which would not. However, at this rate, it's going to take forever, and I just don't care anymore about that. Alright, so we finally got an installation going again. And I don't think the recovery feature is going to be able to work just because I can't use that EFI installer. So I'm going to lose some of those benefits, but this system will be better than no system. I'll try it again just for shits and giggles, but most likely that automatic recovery tool will not work. If someone out there actually watched this arc this far in, and you have an answer as to what the hell happened here to cause all this to happen, to cause this shitstorm, feel free to let me know. Oh, it's the blue screen of death. Just kidding. It's the express settings thing. I'm just gonna click the button. You can't see it, but just a moment, and we'll be right back with you. Yeah, well, I know it's not really Windows' fault. This was more of I think a Boot Camp compatibility issue. I am so flummoxed, but you know what? I'm not going to dwell on it. If one of you guys is a wizard and you know the answer to all my problems, great, but I'm just glad I can maybe get something working now. Hopefully the drivers install. Well, that is a good sign. The Boot Camp installer automatically opened up, and it's now enumerating pre-install packages, whatever the frick that means.
It's still enumerating. I won't lie, Windows 10 does look pretty freaking good on a Retina display. Whew. Yeah, everything went pretty automatic. I mean, that partitioning was the main roadblock. After that, it was simple. Boot Camp just installed, the drivers were fine. I signed into my Microsoft account, verified my ID. Everything's fine now. Now, I just got to transfer my files over, get my settings in there. Ooh, am I in Washington? Well, that's very nice. So, yeah, now it's just a matter of getting the data back on here, which I really only use Windows for Open Broadcaster and a couple of games. And the games are installed on an external hard drive, so I'll throw Steam on this sucker, and that should be good. I also manage the system through Parallels Desktop. So I do boot straight up like I am right now with Boot Camp, but I also use a virtual machine. So I'll get that all configured too, and I can actually then work on the Windows system and migrate all the data and do all that fun stuff inside of OS 10. And yeah, it looks like the keyboard backlight keys work, specialty keys for volume, and all that stuff. I can turn the display down and all that. So yeah, the specialty keys are fine. So Boot Camp is definitely working. Apparently the mission control button opens up the start menu. That's interesting. I actually didn't know it did that. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I usually just press command. Yeah, so basically I wanted to confirm my theory about not having the EFI benefits. Alright, so Boot Camp seems to be working just fine with Windows. All fine and dandy. Now I'm going to get Parallels Desktop set up with Windows so I can do Windows operations inside of OS 10. So we'll just do this, use Boot Camp from, or use Windows from Boot Camp. Yeah, I can read. Continue, activation warning, yes, and I think that's what was causing the problem with me not being able to upgrade to the fall build a while ago. Might have been an activation problem with the VM. Let's just call this Windows XP, just kidding. Create alias on Mac desktop, no. I don't do that. That's more of a Windows thing. I can't even do shortcuts on my desktop in Windows. I just... no, sorry, Bob. Alright, continue. Virtual machine creation. Please wait. At least 512 megabytes of video memory is required. Yes, let's increase that. Let's take a look at some settings here. It's not letting me do that right now. Okay, well, it's upgrading Windows 10, preparing virtual machine. Isn't it just nice when things work? When things are just automatic and simple? And just like that, Parallels Desktop has automatically configured the VM. 4 gigs is pretty good. Now, I have 4 physical processors, but it's hyper-threaded. Graphics memory, we can definitely bump that up to 1 gig. Okay, so I have the data now restoring manually, and I gotta be honest, I didn't think I had 81,196 items in my freaking documents folder. Holy balls. Well, I'm just gonna let the Explorer do its thing, and sit back and relax. Dora the Explorer. Well, guys, it looks like we did it. I got the Mac OS back up and running. I got Windows up and running. Everything is transferred. I think we can have a happy ending. So thank you for sticking with me through this. You really deserve a round of applause. And if you liked the show, if you liked these episodes, feel free to leave us a like to keep the show going. We appreciate it. All right, this is Krazy Ken signing off. I'll catch all you guys later. So here we are now about, I'd say, over a month after the whole SSD replacement thing happened, and I've had no freeze-ups until now. So as you'll see, my cursor can move here, but nothing changes. Not even the clock. Let's see, what time is it here? 1:56. It's 1:54 up there. So just earlier today I was thinking, wow, it's been kind of great. This has been going fine for about a month. But then I realized sometimes even earlier I would go like 3 weeks without a problem. And I was saying I don't want to jinx myself, but it looks like we're good. Well, you win, Murphy. I jinxed myself. It looks like the issue is still not fixed. Something else, probably software-wise, is causing a problem. Now, I feel kind of bad because I had Apple replace the hardware, but I don't know, maybe it's 2 separate issues. That would seem very improbable. But overall,
I have noticed fewer issues with the lockups. Again, this is the first time it's happened since I got the new SSDs. So I don't know, maybe the new SSD did help. So I guess we're kind